Welcome back to Level Headed Gamer, guys. My name is Joseph, and to the ongoing series of reviewing Hitman levels. The point of this review is not necessarily to rank each Hitman level or give it a star rating, but I tend to explain why I think a particular level works or doesn't work, what I like about it, what don't I like about it. As well as I would love to hear from you guys as well what you thought about Dartmoor. If you're a Hitman fan like me, make sure to subscribe down below as well, because I'll be making the reviews on all the levels in the Hitman series. And I'll try to release them a lot more often as well. But without any further ado, let's get into the video.
Results and discretion are my speciality.
Very well. I suppose you will want to start at the crime scene.
Thornbridge Manor in Dartmoor has right off the bat became one of the favorites among Hitman fans, and has resonated with his Agent Sherlock Holmes 47 storyline. Your job is not only to eliminate Alexa, but also to steal the case file that would give you further information into the game's storyline. The biggest complaint from hardcore Hitman fans is that there's a lot less challenges in Hitman 3 per level overall. Not as many stories to follow, and the levels themselves, some of them are much smaller than the previous two games. Now, that is true, and there's no way to argue that, but what makes Hitman 3 so good is that it focuses itself so much more on the story, and it is on full display in Dartmoor. And I don't mean just the overarching World of Assassination plot, but the narrative threads of each level. There are 3 stories for you to follow, but all of them have lots of interesting dialogue to help you realize and ground this game. And they become these multi-stage affairs that give fans so much more context for the world we inhabit, as well as challenges that have story segments of themselves as well. One of the stories has you disguised as a detective to investigate a murder at Thornbridge Manor involving the whole family. Something straight out of Agatha Christie or the movie Knives Out. And it's some of the most fun I ever had with this game. You can pin the murder on the butler or Zachary, and if you want to solve the murder, you can outright demand the case file and don't even need to steal it, which in itself is fun, solving the little puzzle around the room. I was flat out laughing with an evil grin on my face when I was setting up the kill to electrocute Alexa, being disguised as a photographer. We Hitman fans have never been given such unique approaches to each level in the series. Whether you think this game is like a glorified DLC or a worthy successor, we do have to admit that they are trying something different with a lot of their levels. Now, that doesn't mean that the levels in Hitman 1 and 2 were flat or boring, not at all. Miami is a prime example of a beautiful realized Hitman level, but to me personally at least, it feels like a step in the right direction for the series, for their future. And I don't want to hear later on in the comments crying and fighting over how I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm not a Hitman fan, or Hokkaido is better than any level in Hitman 3. I get it. Instead, let's just have some fun talking about Hitman. Not to mention graphically, it is undeniable how good the Glacier engine looks and how good Thornbridge is arguably one of the prettier levels in Hitman 3 with all its fine detail. The feeling I got stepping into the mansion for the first time is probably the same feeling I would have gotten in real life. Dartmoor shows that a good Hitman level doesn't need to be huge and packed with 10 different storylines and 40 challenges to be fun, playful, and exciting to play. As a matter of fact, what I think Dartmoor has done so well for the Hitman universe is give you a completely different setup where you really don't get much in a Hitman level. You do something besides just hunting down your target. You're solving a murder. You're really taking on the role of this detective. And I thought that was such a cool storyline within the level that can also play out in many different ways, as I mentioned before. And not to mention the other storylines that they give you in there are also really freaking cool and really add to, again, Hitman being this special game that we all love. And I think that is why Dartmoor overall, I think it just works. It is one of the greatest Hitman levels. Is it the greatest? Of course not. It's going to depend on your taste. What do you prefer out of a Hitman level? But is it a great level? I think it's absolutely undeniable. So those were my thoughts on Dartmoor in Hitman 3 and how much I basically love this level. Of course, not all of you are going to agree with my opinion, and I would love to have a discussion down below. Let me know your thoughts on this level. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure to stay tuned. Like I said, I'm going to review every single Hitman level because I've been a huge fan since the first game, and the only one I haven't played was Hitman Contracts. So you're going to get a fresh perspective on that game from me. Guys, until next time, take care.